Hi, welcome to my channel Brush It Up. Today's video we are going to go through my old sketchbook. So I have like 3 sketchbooks to show you in today's video, and the oldest sketchbook is from 2019. So yeah, and actually the thing is that after that I don't have like to which particular year the sketchbooks are, but I know the oldest one is from 2019. So it's been like what, 4 years now, almost more than 4 years. And so my skills have improved a lot, because 4 years is a lot of time to have gone by, and my skills have improved also, especially my sketching skills. I won't say my painting skills have improved that much, but my sketching skills have definitely improved. So we get to look back on my art journey and like process as to what were my beginnings, what did I like to paint earlier, and what do I like to paint now, and how much of it has remained, how much of it has changed, and all of that jazz. So yeah, let's get into the video. But as you know, it's for example, it is difficult to get precision, especially when you are drawing. It is difficult to paint and draw small things and get correct perfection and precision in small sketches that you do. It is difficult to make it in a small size. Of course, you can generate and digital copy and print it in a small size. That can be done. That is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about making an actual hand drawn sketch or a handmade painting and making it in a bigger size and then trying to make it in a smaller size. That is difficult than making it in a smaller size and then trying to make it in a bigger size. That is what I'm trying to tell you. So that is the reason why when I started, I chose a sketchbook of a bigger size, because it is easier to make paintings in a bigger size paper, in a bigger size canvas. So I started with this. I think this is A4 size, if I'm not wrong. This is A4, okay, or A3 probably, okay. And let's just go into it. So when artists typically start, they start with getting inspired by other artists, right? So initially you start with imitation. You copy a lot of art that is being made and the artworks that are there around. So this is from I guess the YouTuber Pypah, I think. Yeah, she made this watercolor art. Not this. This doesn't look anything like the one she made. So she made one, and I really liked what she did. So I just want to also pay tribute to all the artists that have inspired me to get back into drawing, to get back into sketching, because I used to do it as a child, but then taking it up and again getting back into it. So this is during the lockdown. I don't have a date on it, but this is somewhere in 2019 Jan. So I started doing it. I wasn't feeling great about myself back then, and I won't say I've come a long way since then, but I have definitely grown since then, my skill wise and my mental health wise as well, because it was a very dark phase, and I was facing some health issues as well, and that is when I took up drawing and sketching again. So, and I was just doing it in a very general sketchbook and not making finished pieces. So this is like the first finished piece that I made. She had this YouTube video out where she went to a cafe and painted. So I thought it just inspired me to make it. Though the one she made it in watercolor, and I think this is watercolor, but then I have put varnish on it, so that is the reason why it looks a bit glossy and like an acrylic paint. But I am surprised as to why it didn't spread, because putting varnish, I think, makes you like it spreads the paint on it, but this one didn't spread. I don't know why. But yeah, you can't put varnish on a watercolor, this thing. But she inspired me to make finished pieces, to get to, in a way, take my art a bit more seriously than what I was this thing. So this is not a perfect painting. This is not, I am kind of ashamed to show you this, but I want to pay tribute to all the artists that inspired me to take up my art more seriously and get back into it. This is again, I guess, this is one of her, or one of the same artist's creation or someone else's creation. I don't know, but yeah. So they again inspired me to get back into drawing. So if this particular sketch, if I try to make into a smaller version of this, that would be more difficult than making it in on a bigger page, because of course the scope for making mistakes is bigger. You get to, your hand gets more freedom, so it is much more easier to sketch on a bigger book. So that is why I started on this, and I started to make finished pieces, which is a big thing. There's this artist, I think if you like illustrations, you must already know her, Yaoyao Ma, I think. Yeah, so she makes illustrations where there's this character which is kind of based on her own self in real life, and she makes this illustration. So this is a recreation of one of her illustrations. This is nowhere close to how beautiful her original illustration is, but yeah. So this is what I have created, and she is one of those artists who inspired. I used to stalk her art a lot before actually getting the guts to do it, and actually also having that much time on my hand to actually do it. So this must have taken me like 5 hours, and this is watercolor. Again, I've put varnish on it, and I am surprised that the watercolors are not spreading. This is actually mixed media, because there is some use of a ballpoint pen in this. So this is watercolor and ballpoint pen, but I'm surprised I have put varnish on it and it hasn't spread. So yeah, you can see the date here in the bottom. It's 29/1/19. So that is how I know this sketchbook is back from 2019. And I have 3 such similar sized sketchbook, and initially, yeah, I just copied the artist that inspired me to make artworks. This is from Pinterest, and I'm going to link the handles of all the artists that I'm mentioning in this video, all the artists that have inspired me to get into art. I just want to pay a huge tribute to that, and somewhere in future maybe I could make a collaboration with them. Like, that would be a dream if they consider me, even if they consider me good enough, or like having enough skills to be considered as an artist. And then I would love to collaborate and with all the artists that I'm mentioning today. So yeah, so please, I am going to, I guess I have this idea in my mind, and I might reach out to them, and yeah, I would want to collaborate with them. So yes, so this is another artwork that I've made by seeing it on YouTube. Not YouTube, sorry, Pinterest. There was a tutorial of it on Pinterest. Yeah, so I remade that. This is again, I think, Pypah's artwork that I have recreated. Yeah, the first one. I don't remember, I'm not pronouncing her name correctly, but I'm going to link down her this thing, and I'll put it somewhere here. Like, I'll put the actual handle in the video. You might find, you will find it somewhere here, where it's correctly where it's correctly saying what artist this is. So one is a YouTube artist, and one, I don't know if the other one is a famous Instagram artist. both of them, one has like this artist whose artwork this is, and I've recreated it. Her handle is there on Instagram as well as on YouTube. Yoma's artwork, I don't know if she exists on YouTube. She must be, I think, and if she does, I'll link her this thing when I'll show. So every artist that I'm mentioning today, I'm going to link their handles. Their handles will come here as text, and it will be in the description as well. So yeah, do check them out. You might also get inspired to get back into painting. So this is so doors and windows and European architecture inspires me a lot, probably because I really want to travel to Europe someday, and for in in real life see these architectural pieces. So I have drawn their windows and doors of European architecture. Yeah, so the photos of this are from Pinterest, and yeah, this is, I think, yeah, this is a photo. This is recreation of a photo, not that great, back in 2019. Yeah, these are swatches, as all sketchbooks should have. They shouldn't just have finished pieces. This is one of my sketchbook which has finished pieces. This is again Yaoyao Ma. I'm sorry if I'm saying, if you're watching this, I'm sorry if I'm saying your handle incorrectly or your name incorrectly. It will be mentioned here, and there's some glare that's coming, so I might switch this so that I can avoid the glare. Can you see it? Yeah, these sketches and these paintings, when you will see hers, the one which she has made, those are so much better. But yeah, I just got so inspired by the way she illustrates, the way she is able to convey so much of message through one particular illustration, convey so much of story, so much of messages through one illustration. And that is what I want to be someday, where I can convey so much through one painting. Like this painting itself conveys so much. Mine might not, but hers definitely does, and it just takes you to a different place altogether. She has a lot of illustration graphic novels as well out there. This is like a monastery, and I've tried to put another pieces, another like I try to assemble and make an illustration by copying this thing. Clearly it didn't turn out well. And what I've observed about myself is I have made these pieces, and I do remember making something similar, trying to make something very similar to this recently as well. So yeah, in my head I think I go back to something which I failed at, and very subconsciously, not it's not in my conscious mind to recreate it. Like I think I've tried to make something very similar to this, and again failed, and this is again a failed attempt. But yeah, this is not that bad, I think. I mean, not as bad as to not show you guys. There are definitely very bad pieces which I might not which I might not ever reveal on YouTube. So if you think that the pieces that are shown on YouTube are the pieces that the artist are the pieces that the artist always makes, then that's a lie. The artist makes horrible pieces, and you should be allowed to make horrible art to make good art. Like, that's where you experiment. That's you should be allowed to experiment and fail. Artists should be allowed to fail. And this is again that artist's one piece that I've created, and you should see that original piece is so much better, and I just loved this one, and I've tried to recreate it. So yeah, I'm going to give credit to her. Every artist should give credit, and they say you shouldn't plagiarize it, you shouldn't completely recreate it. If the artist is alive, then you shouldn't be recreating it. But I have done it, and I want to give credit in a way where you inspired me to get back into my art. So now I am trying to pursue it professionally as well. So you are one of those, your art is so good that it not only brings people towards your art to not just get so much out of your art, but it also inspires people to do the same. That is a different kind of inspiration altogether, which is much bigger, where artists have lost touch with that side of theirs, and then you not only inspire them, make them fall in love with your art, but also want to make something of their own. That's bigger. And because it got me out of a very dark time in my life, I really really want to pay credit and pay tribute to these artists. So yeah. And this is Winx Club. Many people must already be doing it. I have used watercolors, and as you can see, it has spread when I tried to put varnish on it. And I just got like varnish, and I was trying to put varnish on every single thing, like getting my old sketchbooks out and put, because I thought that I have to preserve my old sketchbooks. What if they go bad? What if after a couple of years they are not the same? So I didn't strike me that watercolor paint shouldn't be exposed to varnish. I just did it. Yeah. So this is Flora, and this is one of the character of Winx Club, like my favorite character. Then I have tried to paint Musa as well, and very recently, like a day before yesterday, I'm again creating something very similar to this, and have recreated these characters, and they have turned out to be so much better than this one. So I've definitely improved in my art, I would say, and you will get to see that very soon. So this is something water lily painting that I still try to do. So my inspirations haven't changed that much, I would say. Yeah, my inspirations still remain the same. I am inspired by lakes, I'm inspired by water bodies, I'm inspired by lotuses, still inspired by the same characters that I get used to get inspired from. So yeah, so on that there have been more inspirations that I've got over time. But those inspirations from where I began, those inspirations are still there, and they still till today continue to inspire me. So yeah, so I haven't forgotten where I came from, and they were true inspirations because they still inspire me, and I've gotten many more new inspiration today. So yes, something very similar to this I have created very recently. You will see that on my Instagram on a much smaller scale. So I'm proud that I'm able to recreate this. So this is the end of one of the 3 sketchbooks that I'm going to show you today. And this is the first one is 2019. This one, I don't know like which time this belongs to, but somewhere between today and 2019, probably to 2020 is when this was made. I haven't mentioned dates. Lately I do that. I write dates in each and every pieces that I make. It's very important when you go back and see and you don't realize when was this, when did I make this. So yeah, it's good to have dates. I think I got out the wrong one. Let me. Yeah, this is the last one. Let me just. I think. Yeah. So this is the next one. This is one of Pinterest illustration or character that I have tried to recreate. I was surprised that I was able to make this. Yeah, I like the warrior kind of female this thing body type. I love how much you are able to like convey that this is a female and a male. And let me tell you, it's difficult. So you have to pay a lot of concentration on the anatomy, that way, because the face is not shown, because the hair is not shown, which are the typical aspect of showing that this is a female and this is a male, at least in my head. But then I've realized a curves, bodily curves, and slender frame, and of course the female anatomy that is supposed to be there, showing all that does convey whether it's a male or a female. And this is a recreation of just already existing illustration. So I will link my Instagram account where all not Instagram as well, Pinterest. This is from an existing Pinterest painting, I think, or illustration or digital painting or something like that, which I've tried to recreate. And so yes, I like it. I might put it on my room thing. It's quite vibrant, don't you think? And it's quite retro, so I might put this. I was looking for paintings to put on to put where I work, like where my work desk is, to be surrounded by my paintings, so that they inspire me to paint more. So this is one of those paintings which I think I might not feel that bad if they get dusty, because it's good, and it as well as it's not I don't want to say this, but I'm not that invested in this one, so I would love to put it on the wall. So yes, I'm going to put this on the wall. I'm going to link my Pinterest account, so you can find all the inspirations that I have, from where I get my inspirations. So yes, down in the description, okay? And this I just spontaneously got a leaf, and I just love the veins that the leaf had. So I try to dip it in paint and like create something out of it. So this is what that is. And I also tried to propagate this particular plant. It had pink color in it, pink greenish leaves. It did propagate, and I also was able to do this out of that. And I have seen artists do something very similar to this, but yeah, they execute it much better. I would say you might have the idea, but execution is a very important aspect of any idea. Like, you can have 10,000 ideas, but only the ones that are executed count, right? So yeah, and execution is so difficult. So yes, you should always give credit to the person who comes up with the idea, but so much of credit should also be given to the one who is able to execute that idea. I think this is from the one of the character of Atlantis. This is the Atlantis, the Disney movie. Yeah, this inspiration comes from that Atlantis movie. If I'm not saying the name correctly, yeah, I will put it here. It will come somewhere here, and that's the movie where I took the inspiration. I love the illustration that was there. I wasn't able to recreate it thoroughly, but yeah, I love how the anatomy turned out. I don't love how the background has turned out. So yes, this is again somebody's illustration that I've recreated. I think the artist that I've mentioned earlier, one of those artists or a completely new artist. But I don't know which artist this is, but I think her photo is there. This illustration's photo is there on my Instagram, so I'm going to link my Instagram and try to find if it is the same artist, and if it is, then I'm going to put the link of my Instagram account here, right here, or in the video it will come up here, or it will be, or if I am able to find the artist, then that artist will be given credit. Of course, I don't want to not give credit. And that's how I started. Every beginner artist starts from just copying blatantly copying other people's artwork. But I would say if you are doing that, and I don't come from this background, I come from a commerce and a law background. So I don't know all the rules that are there in the artist community, but I know this people don't recreate other people's art, and if they do, they should. In my head, if you are doing that, I should definitely give credit at least. So this is something that just black paint, and I want to create an artwork on a black surface. That is why I painted the page black, and then I started making it, and then I was like, no, I want to make it on a white one. So I made it here, and I just that page just went to waste. So this is I have this one I really like, and this is was like a big breakthrough for me. This is the artwork that I created by watching a tutorial, and I'm going to link one of those tutorials here, so that these are all similar tutorials, but different artworks. So it is like a 50 seconds video which you watch, and in which the process is shown, and then you can try to recreate that particular artwork by following that 50 seconds video. So yes, I've done that, and this was my first time following that any tutorial as such, and try to recreate, and it did turn out to be exactly like that. So it is some similar to what Bob Rose does, but like a very small amount of time. So yes, I used to pause it at one stage and try to, and it turned out quite well, I would say. So yes. So this is next one, and yeah, again I really liked the painting. I really liked. I started understanding how to use acrylic paints by making these paintings. So I have always admired artists who could make such paintings, and I was like, what is the process that goes behind in making such paintings. So by following the tutorial, I got the understanding of that. And because I don't come from this background, it's good to have such tutorials online. For this one, I think I followed a Bob Ross or someone's again I followed a tutorial for this one as well. These are all acrylic paintings. I really like how the stone turned out in this painting. It looks quite real. Like I have tried to remake stones. You can see here in background. I tried to remake. It didn't turn out that well. Also, I don't like the way the sun rays are coming in this painting. Though I love the reflection of sun rays, they should have been somewhere here also, because it seems like they are coming through here and here. It doesn't seem like it is going somewhere behind here. So there should have been a reflection here as well. So yeah, my favorite thing in this painting is this water and the stone. It turned out quite well, and I don't like how this part has turned out, like the flowers that are there here. So yes, all these paintings must have taken me somewhere around 3 to 4 hours, 5 hours maximum. Yeah, so I used to sit in the afternoon after lunch, and I used to paint till evening. So yeah, that is what I used to do. I really used to enjoy making these paintings. This is my favorite one, following a tutorial. For all the tutorials that I've followed, this is my favorite one that I was able to recreate. It's beautiful. I really love the background blues that I have been able to achieve, like the light that is coming from the background, the way I was able to show a forest far away in the background. I really like that, and I tried to recreate it in a couple of paintings. It didn't turn out as well as this one. So the saddest part about making a good painting is you want to recreate the bits of it. Otherwise, what is the point? Of course, you made one beautiful creation and you should be happy with that, but of course you want to recreate it, right? You want to learn, you want to know, okay, because sometimes what happens is it's like you made it but you are not able to recreate it. And if you are able to recreate it, then there's nothing. That's all that you want to achieve out of a good painting, and learning how did you do that. So yeah, and still I would love to also, I love the pebbles that are going on here, the effect of the pebbles. Yes, so I like how the painting turned out. You can see, like, I was in a phase where I was into drawing nature, wild forest landscapes and water bodies. The presence of water bodies is quite visible. Yeah, in this painting I don't like that much how it turned out. Like, the mountains in the background are much better in the original tutorial, so I didn't like how it turned out. And I when I was making it, I realized, why am I rushing myself this much? But now I realize that making a painting in one sitting is so much better than making it over a period of time, because it, of course, the output is better sometimes, but sometimes because you get so lazy, the amount of time that it takes, I don't like that part. So I don't like the part where the output is great but it takes a lot of time, and you get frustrated in that process, and I have to push myself a lot when I'm continuing last times artwork. Whereas if I'm starting with a new artwork, there is so much hope that is there, it could turn out so much better. So I like to complete a painting in one sitting. So all of these paintings have been done in one sitting, and after that I realized what the only part that's not good when you do that is you rush yourself a lot. Like, sometimes I have rushed myself so much that I know this could have been done better, but since I am doing it with the intention of doing it in one sitting, it is going to get a bit compromised, and towards the end you do get exhausted. There are mistakes that happen. So yeah, so there are pros and cons of doing a painting in one sitting. So this is something that I have tried. So I was like, I want to make my own thing. I don't want always be imitating someone else's artwork. So I tried to recreate a photograph that's there on Pinterest, and as you know, this was my first attempt. I love how the skies turned out, but I didn't like how the trees have turned out. Like, there's no clear distinction as to which tree is which, and there's no clear distinction that is happening. But it's turned out okay, I guess, not as much, and I think it's looking a bit better in this thing. And I think I haven't varnished it. So I have used watercolor in this one. I haven't used acrylics. This is a watercolor painting. Yeah, so I haven't varnished it, and so it's quite clear. There's no reflections that are popping, because when you varnish it, there is a gloss effect that goes on, and then later on, of course, it reflects, right? So it is not that clear. But since this is a watercolor, it has a matte effect to it. So that is the reason why it's not reflecting. I like how the color of the mountains. I don't like what the waterfall thing is going on. You're not able to realize the levels that are there. But yeah, there's a lot of frustration went into this painting as well. This is again creation of another artist. I'll try to find it. I'll try to link it down below. and the artist has made it way better. The eyes are so much bigger than they are supposed to be. The nose is so big, the lips are so big. I mean, and it's just so much disproportion that is going on in this painting, but I love this effect that is happening. And this is supposed to glow, which is not. It seems like she is trying to light a fire. It might as well have some matchsticks in her hand, but it is not supposed to be a fire in the original. It's like a glow, like a magic glow that is happening. Yeah. So this is the second sketchbook. Let's hop on to the last one. As we go, I have tried to make as many paintings as real life, from the real life. So this is again from a photo, and it turned out okay, I guess. Not that great, not that bad, not that great. I love the sky, and I remember I took a lot of time in being able to achieve it. There is a lot of layers of colors that went into it. I won't say I wasted, but I used much more than what was necessary to make this. And I don't know what's this. Is it a mountain or is it a skyline? God knows. I like this part, how this turned out. This part as well, like this part. I like this part, how this part has turned out, like this part. And I don't like this part at all. I don't like the tree. Like it's so stiff. There is no natural wave to it, natural flow to it. It's very stiff and rigid, so I don't like that. Though pine trees are very stiff and are very like angular, but I don't think they are this angular, and there could be some movement that could have happened. So yeah, this is again another attempt, and I have varnished it, so you can see the reflection of light that is happening and the reflection of light that didn't happen in the other one. It's because I have used acrylic paints, and you are able to varnish acrylic paints. I hate this part. This part could have been so much better, since I was like, I have to finish it, and I spent so much time in the sky itself. I was like, no, now let's just move on. And yeah, I like how the mountains, I am okay with this. Not that great, not that bad. Yeah. This one, I don't know what. I just wanted to change up my color palette. I just didn't want to stick with greens that much. I wanted to have shadow plays. I wanted to have light. So this is basically a glacier, and I wanted to give up on this painting, but I pushed myself. I finished it. So I give myself marks for that I stuck to it, and I finished. So all the mistakes that are there, I allow myself to have those mistakes, because with this one it was very important just to finish it, because I know I was hating it. Sometimes when you push yourself in making a painting that you hate, it turns out so beautiful. So all the misery that happened, all the suffering that happened, all the frustration that happened while making that painting is okay, because it turned out so well. But sometimes there are these paintings that don't turn out, and I'm like, was it worth it? But then I was like, yeah, it's worth it, because I'm making a habit of finishing something that I took up, because the number of unfinished projects that I have are ridiculous. So yes, this is my favorite one. When I made it, I really loved it. Now I'm looking back on it, and I can see that it's a bit, it's not straight. It's supposed to be straight, and it's a bit slanty this way. Yeah, so that part I don't like, but I struggled with this one as well, and in my head it was going to turn out so much worse than how it turned out to be. So I'm happy with the result, and I like the color palettes that are going on. If you saw my last couple of paintings, the color palette was quite similar, so I wanted to change up my color palette. So there is only green, yellows and browns, that is green, yellow, browns, white, and little bit of black that is happening. So the color palette is limited. Also, I've observed that if you stick to a certain color palette, like I'm not saying, of course, when you go somewhere, you just buy the primary colors and you can pretty much make all the colors out of the primary colors. Something like purple, maybe not, like pinkish purple, you need a pink for that I've realized very recently, because that's the particular shade of purple that's there that I love to make. And you need a pink or a violet or an already made violet to make that particular kind of shade. But otherwise, whatever shades that are that you see, most of the shades can be made out of the primary color, that is red, blue and green. So I'm not saying if you have that as your palette, then that doesn't make sense. But I'm saying, when you say having a palette, it's like having 3 or 4 colors and mixing them up and making new colors. But again, when you make those new colors, not making 10,000 new colors, you can make like having 4 colors in your palette and making like 2 or 3 colors out of them. So essentially having less than 10 colors in your palette and then sticking to that and using that to convey. I also, yeah, for example, even in this, there is a color palette that's happening. This is from a photo that I saw. Even this one is, even the earlier one that I showed you was from a painting that was there, and it's a result of that painting. Yeah, so I really love how it's turned out, and I also like how this turned out. It has a kind of artistic effect to it, I would say. Yeah, so it's good. It's not great, but I like how I have kept it loose. So yeah, so I understood that you have to keep it loose in a way where there is perfectionism and there is looseness, more looseness. So I love how loose this is. It seems like you are watching a scene that is happening through a glass window which has texture to it, like those textural glass. So it seems like that, don't you think? Yeah, so I like what's going on in this painting. This one I'm not that happy about, but you can see that there's a theme of rain that's happening. Yeah, so I tried it turned out okay. I'm not that happy. It's okay. Oh, it's okay. This is again not a copy, just recreating a photo that I found. This is, however, my favorite one. I would say the shadow and the light work could have been done better. That there could have like, there are hardly any shadows. If you see, there is no shadow of this ship or boat. There's no there's reflection of the trees in the water, but there is no shadow of this. There's no light, there's no light that's happening. Like, almost all of the leaves in this tree are of the same color. If I was able to have light and shadow in this painting, for example, the barks also don't have, like, there's just one tone that's happening. But I love the composition. The composition is so much better. Like, if they had like a good color tone and a good shadow and light play also, along with a good composition, this painting would have been the awesome, much more better. But I love how it turned out. It is again from a photograph that I saw on Pinterest. And again we have rain. So yeah, I would say I have a very strong association with water. Either there's a water body or there is rain that's happening in almost all of my landscape paintings. Yeah, so I hate what's happening here. I hate the color of this. I hate, it's supposed to be autumn, but what is happening? The trees leaves don't have autumn leaves, and then there are autumn leaves all over. So where did it come from? Yeah, so maybe it came from the trees behind, There's supposed to be a statue here. Again, this is I've tried to remake a photograph. I loved how the umbrellas have turned out. Yeah, while I was sketching it also, I was like, oh, okay, I can draw a good umbrella. Yeah, but I spoiled it when I went over with white here. Otherwise, it was a good umbrella. The lamp is so sad. So sad. Again, there's no shadow. There's no light that's happening. And this is a sketch of guess who. If anybody has, just guess who this person is. It's an Asian celebrity. The eyes are too big, the lips are so wrong, but if you pay attention to the lips, you might be able to guess who this celebrity is. So let's play a game. If you have watched this video, let me know who this celebrity is in this sketch. So let's have an interactive thing. So guess who the celebrity is in this particular sketch. It's not a great sketch. It's there. It was there in the book, so it popped out on this video. But guess. Pay attention to the lips and guess who the celebrity is. This is again very, very, very quick attempt to make watercolor landscape. I was like, okay, I've been working with acrylics for a while. Let's try your hands with watercolors, and you can see the devastation that happened. Not great. This one's, I won't say okay, it's bad. This one's also bad. Then again, there was this mixed media attempt that's happening here. Watercolor here, acrylics here, ballpoint pen here. Fail. I would give points to the sketch, but otherwise it's a fail. And then this thing is okay, not that great, not bad. I think it's bad, but it's not. It's okay. So I think this is the end of it, and there's one sketchbook that's worth showing to you all, and I'm going to show it to you very soon. And these are all the sketchbooks that we went through in this video today. So this sketchbook is falling apart, and then the tortoise is also falling apart. So these are all the clay ceramic stuff that I have made. So I've shown the process of it in one of the videos. Not that I didn't shoot it that well, so I might make another one. So this one sketchbook, second one, and third one. So 3. Can you see? We had 3 sketchbooks. So I hoped you liked watching this video. And was I saying something else? I was saying that there is these sketchbooks are from 4 to 3 years ago. So I want to show you my latest work as well. So I will be finishing one sketchbook very soon, which has like 10 pages left in it. I will finish it very soon and will come up with my latest sketches. Otherwise also you are able to see my current skill set in drawing and illustration in other videos as well. This was reflecting on my old arts, and from 4 years ago, so it's quite old, 4 to 3 years ago. So I'll come up with a brand new sketchbook tour, which will have my latest work. I have done the cover of it to show you guys, and I have also started working on another one which would have like what do you call it? I forgot the word for it. Oh my god, which has scrapbooking in it. Would you like to see that as well? I might do it. I might shoot one like right now. one page with scrapbooking. I might do that. That might be the next part.